Yo, what is up, Mr. Martinez? Back by popular demand, and by popular demand, I mean you. I am here with another science video. So today, I'm going to be showing you and anyone else out there a few different areas in the world and their ecosystems. Now I know what you're wondering. Roxanne, this is overdue. You didn't even have to make a video. What is the point of this? Well, you and I both know we don't really have the time to unpack all of that, so let's just go ahead and get started with the Arctic Circle. The Arctic Circle is located between the Arctic to its north and the northern temperate zone to its south. It has a polar climate because it's located so high close to the poles, which means that it has long cold winters and short cool summers because it barely receives any sunlight. It doesn't get much precipitation, but when it does, it's mostly snow. Its climate is mostly moderated by the ocean around it, and its plant life isn't super diverse. It's limited mostly to grasses, sedges, and tundra vegetation such as mosses and lichens. These are able to survive despite being covered in snow and ice almost year-round. The animal life is a lot more diverse, with species like reindeer, polar bear, Arctic foxes, narwhals, walruses, lots and lots of different types. These are all at risk of losing their habitats because the Arctic is warming faster than any other region on Earth. Ice reflects sunlight while the water around it absorbs it. When the Arctic ice melts, the oceans around it absorb more sunlight and heat up, which is why all of these Arctic animals are losing their habitats. Okay, up next we have the Great Barrier Reef, located right near Australia. This biome is very obviously a coral reef, and its plant life is made up of stuff like coralline algae, which forms a symbiotic relationship with coral. It also has a lot of seagrass and sea lettuce. The animals are so diverse. It has more than 1,500 species of fish, more than 411 types of hard coral, 1/3 of the world's soft corals. I could go on and on about how many species are located in the Great Barrier Reef, which is why it is so important to make sure that it does not degrade away. The Great Barrier Reef has a pretty consistent tropical climate, but due to global warming and pollution, there are a lot higher rates of chloral bleaching, more extreme weather events, and ocean acidification. Poor water quality due to land-based runoff kind of leads to outbreaks like starfish that just really ruin the coral population. Last up, we have the Everglades, which is in Florida, EU. So the Everglades is made up of a temperate deciduous forest and a flooded grassland. Its plant life is pretty diverse, with things ranging from sawgrass and mangroves to lots of different types of trees, like apple trees, mahogany trees, just a lot going on there. It also has a really wide variety of animal species, from the panther to the deer to the bobcat. It just has a lot of diversity that we are putting at risk. The natural climate of the Everglades is subtropical, with hot, humid summers where over 80% of the rainfall happens, and pretty mild winters. I bet you're wondering what we're doing to completely ruin the Everglades. Well, there's a pretty long list, but it all comes down to invasive species and development of human populations. The Everglades is less than half of its original size, and water flow is completely restricted across its sensitive landscape. This is displacing natural species and disrupting the ecosystem balance. Now I know what you're thinking. Gosh, we are so terrible for letting this happen. Well, you're not wrong. What all of these areas have in common is they were once so much more abundant and full of life before human development kind of took over. We could go on and on about switching to reusable bags and straws, but unless we make a really big change and switch to renewable resources, these areas are just going to keep getting worse. Almost all of the consequences I went over were because of the use of fossil fuels. So if we really want to keep these areas better, we have to make a big change. This has been Roxanne. It has been my pleasure to teach you about these areas that I just Googled, and I am signing off. Goodbye.
Bro, I'm really about to beat your pickle chin that boy. Ain't gon' act comfy here, boy. Oh, here now, boy, I'm a snake here, but apple here, that Bro, I'm really about to beat your pickle chin that boy. Ain't gon' act comfy.